Hi everyone, this is Alex from Not Casuals, and today we are going to be playing Satisfactory. In today's video, we will cover how to properly set up your oil extractors, your refineries, and your fuel generators. Now, the first thing you need to know is that you're going to need to find oil locations. Once you unlock them in the radar, you can hold V and search for crude oil. There's not that many spots around from what I've seen. If you look on the map, the ones I found were on the west side of the map, and there's like 3 or 4. On the ground, they look like this, just patch of oil, and you just have to basically build an oil extractor on top of it, just like if it was like a miner over a mine. And then you're gonna have to connect it with pipes to your refineries, which is where it's going to start getting a bit complicated. Now for the oil extractor, imagine that they were just similar to the water extractors for the electricity. You just put over a source of liquid and then you're going to connect it with pipes over to your refinery. For your first refinery, you have a lot of options for your production. In this case, if you do select recipes, the two materials that you're going to use a lot in this beginning are going to be plastic and rubber, since these two materials are extremely useful for later on technologies for their circuit boards, the computers, and stuff like this. So you're obviously going to want multiple different refineries that are going to cover the plastic, the rubber, and even direct fuel once you're going to unlock it. There will be later on more stuff that you're going to be able to do this, to package your fuel, to do aluminum scraps, but we're going to cover this in a later video since this is more advanced. Now in this case, for this refinery, we selected fuel, and it's going to generate two types of materials. It's going to generate the liquid fuel in this area, and then over here is these resources that are going to be necessary for other type of crafting. So you always need two exits, and you also need these exits to end up somewhere that are useful, because if you have a bottleneck, your refinery is going to stop. So you need to really exit. So in this case, in this pipe, we have fuel, which we're going to be able to use and separate into multiple pipes. In this case, we built a fuel generator. So it is similar to the coal generator. Just imagine that this is coal, but it's fuel instead, and it's going to power up this thing, which is going to generate a lot of electricity. And you're also going to want to overclock these as much as possible, because it's going to generate a lot of electricity, and the amount of fuel that it takes is not that much, so you can even split a few times. I'll probably split one more time, since right now it is split into two-way, I mean, and I'm going to split it three-way. So I have two fuel generators that are all fully overclocked, running on a single oil generators, leading to only one refinery, so that's pretty useful. Now, as a reminder, every time you work with pipes, make sure to put some pumps aligned in the right direction, to make sure that they are you can go build upwards if you're building angled pipes and stuff like this, to make sure that the pressure gets there, and also make sure to power these, or else you're gonna have trouble just making them work. But at this point in the game, you should master these aspects pretty well, considering that you had to do it with the water and the coal generators, so you should be good. Now there are other things that you can do with your refineries. In this case, I am making rubber over here, and this means that the exit fluid, is not going to be fuel, it's going to be something else. It's going to be crude oil, I believe. So in this case, it's heavy oil residue. So in this case, this pipe is not really overflowing, but it doesn't really matter. So what I'm doing is, okay, I have one side that's doing rubber, which is great, and this excess fuel, this excess liquid, I'm going to send it into a different refinery that's going to create something called petroleum coke, which is a recipe that you have by default, and it tells you on what it is fuel, basically. So, and what this is going to do is it's going to generate a lot of this little material, which is exactly like coal, but just not as efficient. So I've been stacking it up for quite a bit. And what I'm going to do now is what I should have been doing for a long time, actually, is we're going to build a coal generator. And this coal generator is going to benefit from all of this that's been stacking up for a long time. So all you have to do is just connect your source. And we're going to try and do this. No? Okay. Come here. Too steep. There you go. Alright. So we're going to bring it into the new generator that we just put. And now all of this excess is going to come into this generator, which we're going to be able to power up really soon. All we have to do is connect it with some water, but worst case scenario, you can always just make a new water extractor. So we're going to do this right now in this case. Water extractor over here. We're going to connect it with a pipe. Pipes. Pipeline, let's go. So in this case, we're going to incline it just a little bit. There you go. So now it's connected with water. Now obviously it's not going to run for multiple reasons. Well, first of all, this is not powered. Found one. So we're going to make a new connection over here. We're going to connect it over there for the water. We're going to make another power line just here for a second. Connect this. Now it's still not going to work. Why is that? Because this pipe is inclined quite a bit, like I was saying earlier. So we're going to have to build a pump on it. So we're going to do this right now and make sure to always look at the green arrows that are pointing in the right directions. So we're going to do this and connect it over here. Alright, let's see. So water is going up the pipe, past the pump. There you go. And we're going to wait a little bit. This should be filling up. Yes, sir. And now we have a new source of power. Now obviously you can overclock this quite a bit. Because this little material is generated in pretty high quantity, and it's just going to be the excess garbage that comes out of some of your refineries once you're going to do like rubber and plastic and stuff like this. So you should have a lot of them, and you're going to be able to expand your electricity network even more. Obviously the fuel generators are even better in this, in my opinion, since I mean they're a bit more tricky, more limited. Obviously you're going to have a plastic refinery, you're going to have a rubber refinery, you're going to have a fuel refinery, but obviously try to cover your needs. Eventually you're going to have to obviously work on the aluminum scraps once you're going to reach tier 7 and tier 8, but that's pretty far in the game. The most important part once you do this setup is really to understand that your refineries have to dump their excess resource somewhere. They cannot be bottleneck, neither the fluid, neither the physical stuff, products. If for example you need to buy some time, you can always flush all your pipe network, and this is going to wasted basically, but it's still gonna allow your production to go on until you find the right way to just always have a finished product somewhere, or consuming the finished product into electricity. So to recap, you're gonna have your oil extractor, you're pumping oil, you have your pipes that are going to lead to a refinery. The oil goes inside the refinery, transform into two different products, a liquid and a physical. And then this liquid can go into a different refinery, for example, or even a fuel generator, depending on the liquid that you're taking. And the materials, well, obviously you're going to want to have a rubber and the plastic probably conveyed directly to your main base, because you're going to need a ton of these materials. Or in our case, we're using a train system, but going back in time, I'd probably you just use a normal conveyor belt up to my base. And yeah, it's really just about managing everything, and it's really fun. Now, as usual, make sure to power up everything, or else obviously it's not going to work. And make sure to be careful for inclined pipes, and just use your best conveyor belts. It's going to be really useful. And obviously, don't forget to split your pipes and really to be as efficient as possible in the amount of production that you can have. And if you feel that you have issues, just try to overclock some of the key areas, whether it's the extractor directly or if it's the refinery that's bottlenecking. Obviously you're gonna have to check that yourself and adapt, but in every case it's pretty easy to do. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you found the information useful. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. You can also follow us on Discord. The link is going to be in the description box, guys. Thank you. Have a good day.